Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Misty and welcome back to another World of Tanks review. Firstly, I want to apologise. It has been a while since I put footage out. I did go on holiday and I've been really tired since I got back, and between that and doing my day job, unfortunately I've been struggling to get some time. But normal content should be resuming from this point onwards, so that should be daily, Monday to Friday, hopefully, starting today, and I'll be doing a lot of recording over the weekend. So, with that out of the way, let's have a look. Today we're going to be doing the IS-6 Premium Heavy Tank on the Russian side. The mighty Russians. Gotta say, I love this tank. I have been playing it quite a lot, and I really do enjoy it. Just in case any of you are wondering, this is a custom background for the garage. It's part of a new mod pack. Some of you may have seen it in my previous video. I might do a thing about that if anybody wants it, but yeah, let's forget about that. Today we're going to focus on this tank. So, it's a premium tank. Costs a decent chunk. There you go. 11,800 gold. And I say worth it. Really, really worth it. So, this is going to be a new format for my tank reviews. I'm going to try it out and see whether you like it. And we're going to go from there. So, first up, we're going to look at general stats. So this is going to be the bit where we look at the general stats of the tank, see what it does and doesn't do. Generally speed, view range, things like that. So tank's fairly nippy. We'll give that 35 kilometers an hour speed limit. It does reach that speed quite often with a 700 horsepower engine. It is quite nippy for a heavy tank, as a lot of the ISs are. If any of you played any of the other IS tanks, they are quite nippy. They're known for being quick considering they're a heavy tank. And at 26 degrees per second traverse speed, it can turn fairly quickly. It's not a sluggish thing. And 24-second traverse speed in the turret, you're not going to get flanked all that often. And if you do get flanked, you should be able to at least cope with it with a bit of brain power. You know, some of the mediums will just circle you and murder you. So the view range on this tank, quite low, 350 meters. It's not ideal. You know, you want to be a bit higher than that, really. But at the same point, this is a brawling tank, so you should be in close range. So that view range isn't going to matter all that much. You shouldn't be firing this gun at long range, and we will look at the gun in a minute. With this gun, though, no, definitely close range. Alright, this tank is packing 1,550 health points. It's a decent health pool for its tier. It's got a good chunk of health, and it will take a bit of a beating, especially with that armor. And that's about it. Everything else comes under the new headings. So that's the general overview of this tank, of those general stats. They're not the interesting ones though, and that's why I got them out the first. This will be the how it'll go. I'll get the general stats done, and then next we're going to move on to the more important stuff, the armor. Being a heavy tank, I think the armor is probably more important than the gun, so we'll do the armor next. Right, so I've been circling this tank, giving you some lovely side shots of it. The armor is fantastic and terrible at the same time. And it's just, I can't explain it better than that. It's troll armor. It is proper troll armor. It hates you and loves you all the time. So it's 100 millimeters thick on the front, 100 millimeters on the side, and 60 on the rear for the hull. But look at the angling on it. That is fantastic. There's a piece of metal there. Let's go this side. Damn you. Fantastic sloping on it there. That's got to be 45 degrees, maybe even a bit more. I'm not entirely sure, but it is very, very angled. So that armor can bounce a lot of stuff, and I have found this thing to be incredibly good at bouncing shots, especially if you angle yourself properly. The downside, this bit here and this bit here, when you angle, if you angle too much, it'll flatten the sides out. And I've got shots going through there, and sometimes right on the corner here as well, being penetrated quite frequently. Other than that, you got your lower plate, as with most tanks, but like I said, it's a good angle on it too. It's a fairly sharp angle. You keep yourself angled properly, and even lower plate won't get penetrated all the time. And now, the weird shaped turret here, 150 in the front, 150 on the side, 100 on the rear. But again, look at it. Very well angled. Very sloped and curved. Very small as well. The cupola is really small targets, especially for lower down tanks. But that turret has been one of my biggest hates about this tank. I've seen people going straight through this gun mantler here, because it is a really thin gun mantler, in fairness. I've had shots going straight through that turret repeatedly, and causing me a lot of problems, especially if I'm trying to hull down. So, like I said, love-hate relationship with the armor on this thing. It can bounce a lot of shots, and I do tend to, but you will get the ones that you wouldn't expect to go in, going straight in through these bits here, because I flatten them out a bit too much. But at the same point, if you don't angle it enough, they're going to go straight through your lower plate. So you've got to take a chance. Against a smart player, this tank isn't all that well armored. Against an average or beginning player, this thing can be really infuriating to play against. And no matter where they shoot, they will bounce as long as you play smart. So that's the big thing about this tank. With that armor, that health points, it's a very strong frontline brawler. And the gun benefits this. So next up, we're going to look at the armaments on this tank. Okay, so being a premium tank, you only get one gun. Here it is. Standard Russian affair. This is the usual sort of gun you get. You got a 5.13 rounds per minute. Fairly slow rate of fire. Slightly below average for a tier 8 heavy, I feel. And it feels a little slow from time to time, but it's on par with the other Russian heavies. The IS-3, for example, the other tier 8 heavy, non-premium. It's about the same fire rate, so you're not really getting punished or anything like that. But it does have a low penetration value. 175 with non-premium shells. That can cost you, especially at range. This gun does dictate where this tank needs to be played, unfortunately. With that penetration, you need to be up close and hitting those weak spots frequently. But if you hit those weak spots, that is more than enough penetration to get through most tanks. Especially if you're top tier, you can handle yourself very well at close range brawl. And with 390 average damage, you can more than punish anybody you get close to. Now obviously that is average, so it can roll high, but I haven't found it to roll high all that often. But that could just be me pissing off the gods of RNG. And yeah, another stat here that definitely means you need to be in close range. 0.46 accuracy. Really, really don't want to be wasting shots at long range. You'll probably see me do it from time to time, but they are hit and hope kind of shots. They're not going to go in. And if they do, you really, really need to thank someone, because that was lucky. At that range, with that reload time, you don't want to waste the shells unless you're just desperate to get a shot off. With a big aiming time of that as well, just don't. Close range brawls are where this gun belongs and where this tank excels. So what we're going to do now is have a look at that footage and see where this tank can really perform and how good it can be in a close range brawl. So here's my first match in the IS-6. I think this was in fact my first ever match with the tank. So that should give you a good opinion of what a starter can do with this tank. Without getting any feel for it, not knowing its limitations, I'm going to try and hold the heavy tank corner, basically the hill up to the north. That's where all the heavy tanks go. Or at least they would, if any of them wanted to follow me. So I'm going to, as you'll see in a moment, hold this place on my own. But I think I do a good job until support turns up. So you can be the judge of that one. But here we go. I'll start driving up here now. And there we go, guys. Pingy, pingy, pingy. Somebody want to come up here and help, please? Thankfully, someone is paying attention, and that T-34 will eventually come to help me. But until that happens, I'm going to have to hold this corner on my own. I know the IS-6 isn't this fast. I'm actually fast-forwarding, just in case any of you guys didn't realise. So it's not slow by any means, admittedly. 25 on rough terrain. It's pretty decent. But we're going to get in out, and we're going to see whether we can hold this corner against whatever's coming at us. And there are a few tanks ready to come around this corner, as you'll see in a moment. Tiger 2, 110, and a KV-3. Now that's not really what you want to face on your own, so I'm going to have to play very cautiously and try and keep them down there as much as I can. But as you can see there, the gun depression just isn't good on this tank. Just not good enough to get down there and start shooting them. So I have to back off and let them come around the corner a bit, which I didn't entirely want to do. I angle slightly, but this isn't exactly the best angle you should be at. But thankfully the Tiger bounces a very poorly aimed shot straight off the side plate there at the angle I was at then. that's not going to go in from there. I'd be surprised. Because I hadn't straightened out too much and flattened the angle, that went straight up and off the turret cheek as well. Ricocheted up off the hull onto the turret. So that could have gone in fact. That's something I do need to suggest about this tank. You have to be careful, as it can get shots bouncing off the top of that hull into the underside of the turret. But that's never happened to me so far, so I'd assume it's not all that problematic. Let's carry on and see whether I can hold this corner. I do have a T-34 in support now, and a mighty T-71. A lot of people love that tank. I really did not. But I take the choice, track the Tiger so the T-34 can get a good shot into him, and it stops them pushing up the hill then. They're going to be a bit more cautious now. They're worried they're going to take some damage. And I try to reload and get shot, but then the 110 gives me a lovely shot in his lower plate, and I'm not going to say no to that. And I managed to bounce the 110, and that one came straight off the hull. Again, not angled to an extreme level, but just enough that it makes the armor too thick for his gun. Bear in mind, he does have the same sort of penetration as me, and that bounced, but then the KV-3 did not waste the opportunity. It's straight into the lower plate. Not enough angling there to prevent that one. That was poor play on my part. I needed to either cover the lower hull or angle it much better, sorry. So, I've taken my first bit of damage here, but I have bounced 2 shots already, and I've put out 423 average damage. So, I'm trying to draw them around the corner again, let my supporting tanks get shots. Now the Tiger 2 has come to help me as well. I'm going to track the KV-3 so we can eat some damage from the Tiger 2. And another bounce from the 110. I'm worried about the KV-3. He's shown he knows where my weak spots are, and he is the best player there. So I want to try and draw him out and get him killed. So I back around the corner, knowing that they are going to then push around to try and get a shot because they're all reloaded now. And here comes the 110. He's not interested in me, and he pulls back, giving me a shot on the KV-3. And I shoot him in the tracks there. Goes through, damages him for another 423. My apologies, 413. That was the 423 was on the the 110. And because I tracked him, he managed to get killed by my teammates, and that was good for us because he is the best player on that corner, or was until he was brutally murdered. And now we can put a bit of pressure on the 110, but I can't get the gun down, so I back off and let the T-34 get a shot. Now, I know I can't shoot him, but I am trying to feather the corner and make them waste shells on a shot they'll never penetrate on me. But they're playing smart and they're not wasting their ammo. So, one of us is going to have to go a bit crazy and get some shots out, and T-34 decided he will do it. And he got lucky there, he didn't eat any shots in return. Now, I'm not sure what I can do, and I gave a bit too much of my tank there. That was poor by me. Couldn't figure out where the shell went in. Let's have a look, actually. While I was playing, I did look, and I couldn't figure it out. That's a ghost shell. I can't really figure out where that went. I can only assume it went through the side of the tracks. Must have gone up inside the track, perhaps. I don't know, to be honest. That went in somewhere, and it hurt. Was that it there? Is that the one? Or was that... No, that's the bounce off the turret, right. I don't know then. Somebody shot me from somewhere. It hurt. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? So it was my second damage I've taken there. And I can't return the favour. I'm trying to do something with the tank. I'm not sure what I'm doing there. Trying to get some way of getting my gun down there. Trying to make them waste their shells on me, though. And, yeah, it's not working. So I back off. Let the T-34 take the front point. I think the Tiger's going to get that kill on the Jagd Panther down there. So I don't need to worry about that. Just going to try and worry about getting shots on this corner. But they're playing cautious now. They're worried. They know they're capping as well, so they don't need to play dangerous. And I'm trying to just... I think I'm a bit lost here. I was wondering where I can go, what I can do. I don't want to leave this T-34 on his own, but at the same point, I'm not really doing anything to help here. And the Tiger 2 behind me is having real problems with this Jagd Panther down the bottom there. And you see how little health the Jagdpanther has in a minute, and the Tiger 2 should not be having this much trouble. Another good shot from the T-34, and I'm thinking maybe I can wedge my tank up here to get shots down, but gun elevation isn't all that great either, so nope, I'm in a bit of trouble, I think. Right, I'm going to help the Tiger 2. He's struggling with the Jagdpanther here. And my shot goes straight down the middle and hits the gun mantlet of that Jagdpanther. But seeing the health he's on, I just load HE. I know the good average damage on the HE shells means that just the splash damage alone will kill him. Just gotta wait for him to reappear. Stealthy little buggers, these Jagdpanthers. There he is though, he's pulled out too far, trying to get a shot off. I wait for the aim. Didn't fully aim, but I got a bit of luck there, and the shell went through and splash damage picked him off for me. But as you can see, the rest of our team has not done very well. And me and this T-34 decide, right, we've got to do something now. A bit of last minute bravery. So here we go. 110 rightly runs away in fear. And fired, and I missed. There it goes, straight off the turret. It was a bad shot. Gun rode up though as we went to fire. I get wedged a bit so I can't turn, but it's a bit of luck. Bounced the Ferdinand. Trying to get shot off. Bounced off the cheek of the low. And this last stand, not so great. But, you know, we had to go down swinging, that's all that matters. So, we didn't do all that well thanks to our team on that one. We played a decent match, though we did make mistakes, but that was our first ever game. So, we're going to have a look at one now that we did a bit after this, where we had some games under our belt. Okay, so here's another top tier match for us. And again, because we're top tier, we do feel like we have to go and do something important. Some sort of decent damage, trying to carry a corner perhaps. Unfortunately though, as the trend is going to go with a lot of these replays, I wasn't on the best of teams. You know, I try not to just insult the team outright before I've even played with them. But as these are all replays, I know the teams were bad. And I'm not an amazing player. I don't claim to be. I'm you know, distinctly average from especially, you know, my stats and stuff. I am distinctly average. But the teams I were having, oh gosh, they were not average by any stretch of the imagination. So a lot of matches were lost quite early on by people rushing off to their deaths. But, you know, we did our best, and that's all that matters. Even if they failed, we did our best. And, we get some decent XP and decent credits, and a good game as well. And that's, I think, more important. We enjoyed ourselves in a good match. So, we're going to head up here and try and push over this ridge, get some shots in the IS-3. It's just giving away his position. But again, gun depression on this tank, not really fantastic, as we demonstrated in the last video. So, I quickly rethink my strategy. See, T50 Type 2 is, well, not Type 2, sorry. T52, T50, oh gosh, I can't even read. T25 Type 2, or Dash 2, or Slash 2, whichever you want to call it. Being a bit crazy, but there, the long-range capabilities of this gun being proven to not be all that great. So, we're going to, not wait for him to reappear. Take another little look. Can we get him? No, he's too far away. It's not worth taking a shot at. We might hit him, we might get lucky, but most likely it's just going to go wide. So instead, we get ourselves up here, try to proxy spot anything on the bottom of this hill. We don't see anything at all. But then somebody needs to bounce, and I don't know where that came from. But somebody can see us up here, so I decide, right, we need some spotting. I got lucky there. The Jagdpanther bounced, but I suppose good armor in this tank proving it there. Yeah, my driver's drunk, guys. It's, well, I suppose it's Russian tank, so it's kind of allowed now. He's probably just completely plastered on vodka. So, now that my driver's proven himself to be drunk, let's hope the gunner isn't. We pull up here and try and get some more spotting off. See if anything else is there supporting the IS-3. Can't see anything, but we know there's going to be tank destroyers up at the back towards the cap circle. So we have to be cautious here. And this IS-3 now is really intent on getting me, and because he's doing that, he's not thinking about anyone else. Again, extreme angle there, not going to go through the upper plate, but he couldn't stay out long enough to aim anywhere else. So that bounced straight off and gave us a good damage shot on him. Slightly below average, so 379. And I can hear shots pinging off my teammate behind me, and they're just sitting there and taking the beating. So, you know, I'd like, guys, if you're being shot at repeatedly, just drive out the way. It'll save your life. I promise you. You know, if you're not where they can shoot you, they then will not be able to shoot you, and you will survive. Poker on the side there, trying to spot anything again. T29 dies, unfortunately. I don't think a T29 should be dying at this point in the game on this map. There is plenty of places back there to hull down and put that impenetrable turret out. And try to clutch shot there before I fully aimed, shot the floor. But that's 2 bounces now. One off the hull, both off the hull actually. At those angles, he's going to struggle to go through. And I'm happy to let him constantly shoot that hull, to be honest. Keep going, IS3. It's 3 bounces for me, and means I get to live a bit longer. But as you can see, it's 2-5 now. We're struggling. The team is not doing all that well. I took a bit too long to aim there and wasted another shot, but again, another bounce off the front of this tank. I'm not even using great angles here. I'm just doing very slight angling just to make it difficult for the IS3. I don't want to give him too much on my side. And I don't think... I've been playing this tank all that much. Again, this was like one of the first 5 games I played, so I wasn't completely used to the way it feels. I poked around a little too much there. Bit of momentum on the tank drew me over the hill. And that was a bad mistake. I knew there were tanks there, and I thought, right, maybe I can get around as they've shot and not eat too much damage. Unfortunately, I was wrong, and there were more tanks than I first thought. And I took too much damage there. And now my turret's jammed, and I'm having to try and turn the tank to aim at the IS-3. But again, you can see I'm taking a complete pounding here and not dying. So I'm aiming for the flat surface, shot goes in, IS-3 finally down. But we've lost a lot of health. And we've got a critical turret damage. Tiger 2's come rushing down here now, trying to back us up. You know, fairness, thank you very much, Tiger 2, for coming to help. But I think we're in a bit of trouble now. So that Jagdpanther 2 is going to be a pain. Shot again at range, not very good. Went wide and low, hit the hill in front of him. And we're going to have to look for some shots off now. We need to start putting some damage out. But I think at 3-8 this match is over. But I want to do what I can, you know. Maybe over, but I can still be a pain in the ass for whoever I'm playing against. I have seen matches won from this point. But with this much health, I don't feel like I'm going to be able to carry it. But you never know. Maybe I can put out enough damage and weaken the enemy enough for someone else to carry. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm never going to give up. There's no point just quitting out or whatever. I'm still alive, so I can still do damage and I can still contribute. But that Jagdtiger 88 is keeping himself behind the rock, so I know he can't get shots on me. So I pull out, and the KV-1S give me his front armor at the side of his turret. Shot went wide there again from range, as you can see, really bad accuracy, but the KV-1S's armor was not enough to hold out against that shot and went straight through, and a big chunk of his health gone there. But the long reload time means I have to go back into hiding again. Never a bad thing, mind you. Now, this shot was a bad shot. I shouldn't have wasted my time on it. I can't even remember if I actually shoot, but I shouldn't have been sat there aiming. Again, you know, I wasted a long time. Took a shell, thankfully bounced it from the T29, but I may have eaten some damage there, and there was no way I was going to penetrate from that range that much of the tank to show. There was just not going to happen. I'm surprised I even hit him, to be honest. So again, finding reloading, come run again. Try and get a shot off on the side of someone while they're concentrating on the Tiger 2. But there's nobody to give shots on at the moment, so I don't want to go driving out. I can't really go anywhere. This is a last-ditched attempt. We're doing alright, you know, we've got 1-2 kills. We've held out for a bit, but this is going to be a loss, guys. The Jagdtiger's coming around, so I'm going to have to angle myself a bit now. Got my bounce, but again, good armor on the Jagdtiger, and in this range, I'm kind of playing to my tank's weaknesses here. But not through choice. I literally... If I go around there, I'm going to die. So I'm going to have to try and take long-range shots with this tank. And it's never going to go well. And then I eat a shot on the side. But again, bounced, you know. That's side armor there, and that's another bounce. I think the tracks must have ate that one. So I've taken a fair beating. I've got about 12 bounces so far. That's very good for a tank that apparently only has 100mm of hull armor. But it shows you how good the angling on it is to allow me to get away with being very daft. In fact, driving around that corner. That was very brave and very, very stupid. But the tank allows me to get away with it. But I wouldn't recommend doing it all the time. Now I get drawn out looking for a shot again. There's the Panther. I took a shot a minute ago. That's another good hit. We're already up to almost 2,000 damage dealt here in a losing match. Where we're playing long range shooting all the time. The Panther hidden in the distance gets a shot off on me. And now I'm pinned here with my tracks down. And he's grinding me down. But he's bouncing. A Black Prince bounces. And I go through the side of the Indian Panzer. So look, I'm still bouncing away. And they've got shots on my side here. And they're struggling to kill me. But next shot will kill me. But I get the tracks up just in time and manage to pull back into cover. But that was 5 shots on the side and 2 of them penetrated. 3 others bounced completely off on the side of an IS-6. That's, you know, this tank is troll. It is a troll tank. And I'm now the last man alive. I'm going to go down swinging. Never going to quit. I'm not going to do anything stupid here. I'm going to go down swinging. Take someone with me if I can. At the very least, do some more damage. But the Ag Tiger knew I was. And put a shot straight through the side there. And that's what I mean. Troll armor, extreme angles. And he penetrates. No angling. He didn't. But I think I gave him just a bit too much and flattened out that corner bit. And he went straight through. So, here's the final battle for the day. Another top tier match. We got quite lucky with the top tiers. Obviously, this tank does have premium matchmaking, so you cannot face tier 10s in it, which is good because with 175mm of armor pen, you wouldn't be able to do anything to a tier 10. So, city maps, I think, are probably this tank's home. This is where it will do best, personally. Anyway, some people may disagree, but I personally feel that IS-6 benefits of being in a city map. The houses, the square formation of all the streets, it allows you to angle your armor much easier, get hull down, go into side scraping mode, and use the odd shaped sides of this tank to really bounce people's shots and annoy them. So, my friend there went up the corner in his FCM 50T, using the fast speed in that tank to hold down the corner. Let me know that there's no one there so I can push round. And there's the Hellcat. And he got himself into a bad position there, and I got a lucky shot off. But by turning my turret, I do get shot in the back of the turret there by the Centurion 1. So the Hellcat, although he did get in a daft position, did cost me some health. Cheeky bugger. No one I got support behind me. I go for the track on the Centurion. Managed to pin him down and he takes some damage there. Artillery splashed him. And my teammate managed to hit him with some damage. And again, another clutch shot. I got 2 lucky shots so far this match. Getting the back of that A44. But you can see that we've already done 812 damage. We've only fired twice. So it's good damage output on this gun. As you come to expect from the Russian guns though. They are meaty things. Very powerful. And I do really enjoy the Russian tanks, to be honest with you. And we're punishing that Centurion now. Getting shots right into the corner. And down he goes. And that's our first kill. And we've done 1,340 damage so far. Haven't bounced any shots yet. We've been largely ignored. Minus the one shot that went through the back of the turret. But now I realise there's only an A44 up there. And the Comet and the Hellcat to our right are no longer paying attention. So we rush around and try and put pressure on this A44. And we pull back at the last second. He donks his shot right into the floor. We put another big meaty hit into him. And I'm trying to keep him in my sight while I reload. But he just gets around the corner. Literally microseconds away from killing him. Don't you worry. He will die though. I assure you that one. But I pull back here. I see on the map, I know the IS-3 spotted and he's coming around the corner full health. So I get into a decent defensive position. But he doesn't come round. So I'm thinking, right, well, you know, we've got the advantage here. If he's not going to come round, he must be waiting on that corner to try and hold it. So with the teammate there supporting me, because obviously as a clanmate he will help me out. You know, that's the whole point of playing with friends. I know I'm going to have some backup, so I pushed up the corner, and there he is, holding the corner like I thought he would be. So now we go into a little standoff mode. Both trying to side scrape round. I gave him a really extreme angle, and I shoot him in the side plate there. That was a flat surface because of the angle on. But it didn't go through. And I must have rolled really low on the pen there. I would have thought that would have gone through. But he dunks a shot into the wall, I think. Oh, wait, no, I apologise. He did go straight past me and hit my teammate. But oh well. And that shot there, as I went to shoot, he turned his turret and I shot his gun. I didn't even crit his gun, unfortunately. That was just... I would have wanted to do the crit damage to his gun. But track damage again. Other than that shot to the back of our turret, nothing has hurt us yet. Now I'm aiming for the lower plate. So obviously that's one of the known weak spots on IS-3. But apparently not this IS-3. Because that one just bounced right off. So I'm having trouble here. And this is where the low penetration of this gun comes into play. I'm struggling to penetrate an IS-3 that I'd never had problems penetrating before. And again, that one right on the corner there. You know, still part of the lower plate, so I'm glad it did go in. But I would have expected the first one that was square on the lower plate to go in much easier. And he doesn't bounce that one. He flattened out the side surface. As that tank has got a piked nose, if you angle too much, it actually flattens out the front of your tank. And that was it, basically. We bullied our way up that road. And used the good armor and decent damage on this gun to just batter our way through. Doing 2,508 damage. Getting 2 kills. And a good victory. For the first time. So, yay for us. So, I hope you guys enjoyed those videos. They do showcase how good this tank can be as a bruiser. And how poor it can be as a long-range sniper. Don't go using this gun at range. There's no point. You will miss most of your shots, and with the low ammo capacity on this tank, you won't have enough shots to actually do anything later on. The best way to play it, bully a corner, use the weird angles on these sides, very sloped, very angled. Use those, get yourself side scraping, bounce a couple of shots, and force your way around in between the enemy reloads. Do a big chunk of damage to them, hit them in their weak spots, and then pull back and go back to side scraping. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and share this with anyone you want. I also have a new Twitter page that I will be putting in the link in the description. So please go follow me on there if you want to. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.